KISS bassist Gene Simmons has issued an apology regarding his comments about depression and those who suffer suicidal thoughts. Of course, those comments have taken on new meaning with the death of actor and comedian Robin Williams, who suffered from depression in the past. In a talk about drug addiction, alcohol addiction, and depression, Gene Simmons told an online publication that he didn't understand young adults battling depression and said if they feel that way, they should in fact kill themselves. He has since changed his stance, and he says he understands depression in a statement, but that statement came after a firestorm ignited by Nikki Sixx of Motley Crue, who blasted Gene on his radio show saying he's a fan of Gene's, but his opinions on the matter were inappropriate and way off base. We caught up with former KISS guitarist Ace Frehley, who just released his new album, Space Invader, about suffering from drug and alcohol addiction and depression, and the controversy over Simmons' callous statements about those battling demons.
Gene has single-handedly alienated just about everybody on the planet. You know, first he attacks immigrants, and then he belittles poor people by saying, be nice to the rich people because we're the ones that give you jobs, Then he attacks people with depression, alcoholics, drug addicts, I mean, the only thing left for him to do is attack, the whole gay movement. And, I've heard him do that in private, so that's probably still yet to come. I don't think he makes any sense. He prides himself on being such an intellectual. He brags about being able to speak 7 languages, but when it comes to being knowledgeable about, the human condition, depression is a very serious disease. I've suffered from it in my lifetime. I know my daughter suffers from it. Alcoholism is a disease, and so is drug addiction. It's the disease of, addiction. Many people are born that way. And Gene just seems to, be ignorant of the whole fact, I think it's time for Gene to go back to school and get educated, in the health field.
Frehley also shared what it may have been like having Simmons be an unsympathetic band member, considering what Space Ace had to go through.
Paul and Gene still, refer to me as a drunk and a drug addict, and it's unfortunate because, it's really hitting below the belt. It was bad enough that they hit me when I was down, when I was really suffering and active. Gene used to make statements like he was saying Ace is unemployable, Ace is a drunk and a drug addict. Now, as of recent, since they really can't call me a drunk and a drug addict anymore, now they're calling me a racist. I mean, it's unbelievable the stuff that comes out of their mouths. They're grasping at straws. I feel sorry for them.
So how did Ace get through the hard times?
Well, when you have a problem, you seek help. I got involved with 12-step programs. I cut loose all my friends that I used to party with. And, I picked myself up, dusted myself off, and got sober. I mean, it was the hardest thing I've ever done. On September 15th, I'll be celebrating 8 years sober. But, it's a personal choice. I don't tell people not to drink and not to do drugs. I just, if you want to stop, maybe you can follow my example. I believe I'm a power of example today. A lot of kids come up to me when I'm doing autograph sessions. A guy will say to me, Ace, I'm sober 6 months. It's all because of you. And, that makes my day.
Ace Frehley has an in-store in New York City surrounding the release of his new album, Space Invader, and is planning a fall tour in support of the effort. The album was delayed for a Tuesday release after originally being scheduled for a July 8th drop. Simmons has released 2 statements, the second one admitting to his error instead of a press misrepresentation. Quote, to the extent my comments reported by the media speak of depression, I was wrong and in the spur of the moment made remarks that in hindsight were made without regard for those who truly suffer the struggles of depression. I sincerely apologize to those who were offended by my comments. I recognize that depression is very serious and very sad when it happens to anyone, especially loved ones. I deeply support and am empathetic to anyone suffering from any disease, especially depression, end quote.